From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, August 30th. It's going to be a beautiful day, best weather day of the week, in fact. Closer to a fall-like feel, a nice breeze out of the north. Low humidity. It feels like basically nothing. And the highs are going to be in the mid-70s. Florida is dealing with a complete polar opposite of a forecast. Hurricane Idalia made landfall this morning as a Category 3 hurricane, sustained winds of 125 miles per hour. It hit in the Big Bend area. It's where the Panhandle meets the peninsula, specifically between Keaton Beach and Fish Creek on the Gulf side. Florida State Police had gone door to door, helping to clear out Cedar Key and other coastal areas. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is urging people to take cover.
And we just hope everybody stays safe. Don't put your life at risk by doing anything dumb at this point. This thing's powerful. If you're inside, just hunker down until it gets past you. You don't want to be messing around with these winds. There's going to be things flying all over the place. Obviously, if you're in a place that's close to the coast and you see that surge, that's going to be legitimate surge. It's going to be a big deal, and it's going to be very, very dangerous.
Roads are flooded. Emergency management officials say low-lying areas closer to the area of landfall could see up to 7 feet of storm surge. FEMA says the first priority when the storm passes will be search and rescue. The agency says crews may have a hard time getting to small coastal communities because heavy debris and flooding will likely block roads. And FEMA says it could run out of money before Friday without help from Congress. FEMA's director says the agency has $3.4 billion left, and it will all go toward Hurricane Idalia relief, the Maui wildfires, and other extreme weather. FEMA is now asking Congress for an additional $12 billion for the rest of the year, hoping that's enough. Before the Maui wildfires, FEMA had funded about $15 billion in disaster relief this year. According to CNN, there is a bipartisan support for more FEMA funding. Several members of the Biden administration will arrive in Indiana today. First up, the First Lady and the U.S. Surgeon General. Dr. Jill Biden and Dr. Vivek Murthy are set to visit Westfield High School. Jill Biden is the First Lady to continue her career outside the White House. She's teaching English and writing at a community college this semester. But first, she's taking a moment to encourage teachers in the Midwest. This is part of a series of back-to-school events. On Monday, the Biden stopped at a middle school in Washington, D.C. They're on a mission to highlight the mental health needs of students. The First Lady told the 8th grade math class that she's been busy preparing for students.
You know, what you probably don't know about teachers is that no matter how long you've been teaching, the night before you can barely sleep because you're so excited. Isn't that true?
That's very true.
Yeah, yes. Because we love our students. We love our students. And so if you're going through tough times, or you know, maybe you're struggling a little bit in math, maybe you're struggling a little bit at home, you know you can go to your teachers, you can trust your teachers. We are always here for you.
The First Lady will travel by motorcade to Westfield High School with the Surgeon General. They'll have a private conversation with some students about mental health resources. And after that, she'll fly to Chicago to speak with students. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is also set to visit Gary and Elkhart today. Buttigieg will highlight job creation at projects funded by the Biden administration's infrastructure law. He's set to speak with members of the United Steelworkers in Gary, then with the mayor of Elkhart. An IMPD officer faces domestic battery charges accused of strangling his wife. Police arrested Officer Glenn Schmidt Sunday at his home on the south side of the city. According to the arrest affidavit, Schmidt's wife says the pair had been drinking and got into a heated argument, throwing things. She says she went into the house, came back out, and he grabbed her neck and slammed her to the ground, cutting off some of her airflow. Officer Schmidt told detectives he lost his cool but did not choke his wife. Investigators say Schmidt's wife had visible injuries around her eye and neck. Schmidt is on administrative leave now. He's been with the department for 18 years. 2 Marion County deputies are fired over their job performance on the day a fellow deputy was killed. John Durham died last month, attacked as he transported a prisoner. It's not yet clear what the 2 fired deputies did or failed to do that cost them their jobs. Investigators say Orlando Mitchell killed Durham in an escaped attempt. Durham was alone as he took Mitchell back to the jail from a hospital visit. iTeammate obtained through an open records request the transport policy, which does call for at least 2 people for hospital and high-risk transports. Mitchell was in custody on a murder charge. The sheriff has not said if he was considered high risk. In Crawford County, state police say deputies shot and killed a man who pointed a gun at them. The shooting happened yesterday in Marengo. State police say sheriff's deputies were serving an emergency detention order for Bernie Breeding. Police say Breeding pointed the gun at them when deputies entered his home and one officer fired. Medics pronounced Breeding dead at the scene. Police say nearly $300,000 worth of gaming cards stolen during Gen Con are on the way back to Indianapolis. IMPD says it found the cards in New York City. Police initially called the 2 men strong persons of interest in the case. Investigators are not yet giving specifics about how they're connected, but police expect the Marion County Prosecutor's Office to file charges soon. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett says transforming the parking lot next to the old City Hall will give more people a place to live, work, and play. The city unveiled a proposal yesterday to build a 32-story hotel and apartment complex where the lot is now. Hogsett says 10 apartments will be set aside for low-income renters. The old City Hall building is said to be preserved and become an art gallery. City officials say the whole project will cost $140 million. The mayor says he's asking the City-County Council to create a $15 million tax increment financing district, a TIF, with a 25-year timeline. And Wish TV is your education station where IPS wants to help make the district more equitable. The school board introduced the Culturally Responsive and Equitable Education Committee last night. IPS says the goal of the 10-person committee is to recommend policy changes to the board. The school board says it's received more than 70 applications from teachers, parents, students, and community leaders. The charter to make the committee and official advisory group to the board could be voted on as early as tomorrow. The protections for millions of acres of wetlands are now weaker. The EPA and Army Corps of Engineers cut the number of federally protected waters by more than half yesterday. The move follows a Supreme Court decision in May to drastically limit the federal government's power to regulate wetlands, leaving states to make major decisions in most cases. The rule now requires wetlands to be connected to larger bodies of water like oceans and rivers to get federal protection. The new rules impact up to 63% of wetlands across the country. To the Colts, the roster is set for now, with one major issue still unsettled. Star running back Jonathan Taylor is staying. The team says it couldn't find a fair value trade for Taylor. For now, he's on the physically unable to perform list, meaning he'll miss at least the first 4 games. Taylor hasn't practiced since last season as he deals with injuries and unhappiness over his deal. The running back chores will fall to Deion Jackson, Zach Moss, and Evan Hull. The Colts kick off the season at home on September 10th against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Today, the NHRA U.S. Nationals begins at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Today kicks off the first day of qualifying. Begins at 8 o'clock this morning. The 6-day event goes until Monday. Autograph sessions will be available to fans throughout the week. Fans can also take part in a track walk during the pre-race ceremony on Championship Monday. And to business headlines, Bila Solar of Singapore will set up its U.S. shop in Indianapolis. Specifically, it will build lightweight solar modules locally. The lightweight and thinness of the modules enables them to be able to use various applications like commercial and industrial roofs, waterproof roofs, vehicles for solar power, and off-grid use. It's a $35 million investment, and the facility will offer 240 jobs. It's on South White River Parkway East, and production will begin next year. U.S. job openings fall below 9 million for the first time since March of 2021. In addition, the government says a smaller number of workers quit their jobs. Businesses hired fewer workers and layoffs nudged higher as the U.S. job market settles into a calmer, more balanced state. Apple sent invites for a September 12th launch event where a new iPhone 15 is expected. The new iPhone models, likely branded as the iPhone 15, are expected to use a USB-C charging port, which means owners would have to buy a new charger. Some of the new devices Apple debuts could be made of titanium, according to reports. Oil prices are higher. Chevron said it evacuated staff from 3 U.S. Gulf of Mexico oil production platforms, while Kinder Morgan planned to shut a petroleum pipeline as the energy companies braced for Hurricane Idalia. Idalia strengthened over the Gulf of Mexico en route to Florida's Gulf Coast. It's forced evacuations in low-lying coastal areas that are being swamped as the storm is hitting right now. Smithsonian Magazine reports a gene that occurs naturally in some cow breeds may be the key to helping cattle thrive as temperatures rise because of climate change. Heat-stressed cows produce less milk, are more susceptible to disease, and have higher calf death rates. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.